Guys, this is a stupid video. Let me just warn you up front. You probably read the title and thought, what are you talking about? A philosophy book wish list? You mean non-English books that haven't been translated yet, right? No, you naive fools. I have a wish list for books to come out under a specific publisher, Hackett Publishing. For philosophy books, I have never felt disappointed by a Hackett book, and it's because they're unbeatable in terms of translations and introductions. I don't know who's in charge of hiring the translator for these works, but Hackett has never steered me wrong. When I see their minimalist, beautiful covers at a used bookstore, I jump on it. Don't talk to me about any penguins or oxes, this ain't no zoo, even if their covers are pretty awesome. But while Hackett is my go-to publisher for philosophy books, their selection can be sometimes lacking. So in this video, I'll be going over 10 books that I wish Hackett would publish, and I'll show you some mock-up covers I made. Didn't I tell you this was a stupid video? At number 10, we have Nature and Self-Reliance by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Hackett will often make compilation books, combining more than just one book from a philosopher, and I think it'd be cool to have Emerson's two most popular essays together in one book. For the cover, you gotta go with a green, like a forest green, cause you know, green, nature, leaves, grass, you get it, right? It's at number 10 cause it's already in English, so it's kinda redundant, but still Hackett can do their magic and get a good person for the introduction. Number 9, we have Selected Works by Sartre. I originally thought about just doing his essay Existentialism is a Humanism, but that would make for a very thin book. Instead of cramming in Being and Nothing, why not include some of Sartre's literary works instead? Have No Exit and maybe Nausea, so you could have both the philosophy and the real-life literary application all in one. I also decided to go with a red color for Sartre because of his Marxist sympathies. That being said, I think it'd be hilariously ironic if the price was placed somewhere on the front cover as well. Number 8 is Thus Spoke Zarathustra by Nietzsche. So Hackett has already released some Nietzsche books, but we haven't gotten arguably his most well-known work, so this is a no-brainer. The difficulty here is that the Walter Kaufmann translations are already excellent, so Hackett would have to find another damn good translator for this to mean anything. I went with a turquoise blue because for me I pictured Zarathustra with a blue, vibrant but torn up robe. That's just me though. Number 7 is a bit of a personal one, and that's Miguel de Unamuno's Tragic Sense of Life. So I read a lot of lesser known philosophy books on this channel, and this is one of the ones I liked a lot. It's a very unique existentialist text that focuses on a yearning for immortality. I went to Spain 2 years ago and even saw an Unamuno statue, and went to a cafe named after him. So he's a pretty big deal over there apparently, but you don't really hear much about him in the US. So I think Hackett would be a big help introducing him to American audiences. For the color I went with a dark purple because it's a little bit depressing at times, but not fully. Alright, 6 we have Selected Essays by Montaigne. So Hackett already has a book by Montaigne, but wait. This is embarrassing. Okay, they do actually have a book for some of Montaigne's essays. I just didn't realize it because they dared to divert from their classic minimalist design. Okay, scratch this one then. Number 5 is a Scholastic Philosophy Reader. Now Hackett has some scholastic philosophers like Anselm already, but what I'm hoping for is a general compilation of some important works from various figures. Hackett already did a pre-Socratic reader and a Hellenistic reader, which I enjoy. But I, like many of us, are not that familiar with scholastic philosophy, and I think this would be a great way to get introduced to some of the figures and ideas. Color-wise, I went with a light yellow, kind of symbolizing some divine light. Okay, so 4 is tricky. It's a Selected Works, this time from Kierkegaard. What I'm thinking is you have both Fear and Trembling and Sickness unto Death, because they're both relatively short. But then you also have selections from Either Or, which would be the first book in this book. So it flows really well. Like you go from the aesthetic to the ethical and then to the religious. But upon making this video, I did discover Hackett is already publishing a Fear and Trembling book this September. And it's in their classic design. Granted, it's not a solid color. But hey, maybe this makes this entry obsolete if they keep giving us more Kierkegaard. My color idea was just black and dark, kind of like some readings of Kierkegaard. Definitely early on in the aesthetic realm. We got 3 more books to go. Are you excited? Probably not, but that's okay. Alright, for 3 we have Selections from the World as Will and Representation, both volumes. Okay, I tried to read volume 1 and I just could not get into it. Granted, I'm not a metaphysics guy, so it feels like a chore at times. I think it'd be cool though, if you can, to take specific sections from both volumes and put them into one so you get an overall grasp of Schopenhauer's metaphysics, and then you could tackle the full books. For Schopenhauer's more pessimistic philosophy, I didn't go with a gray because that'd be too easy and boring, but rather a dark blue. For number 2, we got a big one, and this is the Tractatus and the Philosophical Investigations by Wittgenstein. The Tractatus represents early Wittgenstein, while the Investigations represent later Wittgenstein. And here, they could be in just one book. I kind of feel like a used car salesman. But really, the Tractatus is short enough where I think it could be included in one book along with the Investigations. You'd probably have to have an introduction to each book since they're pretty different, but I think having it all in one would be a great resource. Color-wise, I don't know why, but I think an orange would work really well here. So we reached our last book, number 1. This is a book that I've struggled with reading despite many different translations out there. This book is notorious for being difficult to read, so it'd be amazing if Hackett could find a translator capable of making this both comprehensible and accurate. Can you guess what it is based on that description? You might be thinking Phenomenology of Spirit, but Hackett already dipped their toes into that one. No, my number 1 book request is Heidegger's Being and Time, and I don't know why I went for this color, but it just fits, I guess. I remember talking to my professor about tough philosophy books, and he was of the opinion that Hegel's Phenomenology of Spirit was more comprehensible than Being and Time, which shocked me until I actually started trying to read Being and Time. So hopefully the geniuses at Hackett Publishing can find a translator that'd be best suited for students. Cause that's really what I think makes Hackett so good. The majority of philosophy books I read in college were from Hackett. It just feels like they know a large market for them are students. So they keep that in mind when choosing the translator. I don't know, maybe I'm just sounding kinda cringe simping over a publisher. After all, it's really the translator doing all the work. But they've consistently hit it out of the park with the translators they've chosen. It's like the film distributor A24. They themselves don't usually make the movies, but the movies they choose to distribute and the directors they back are usually of high quality. So that's my philosophy book wish list for Hackett. If somehow someone from Hackett is watching this, relay this to whoever's in charge, Mr. Hackett, and please sponsor me. I get sponsorship requests from like lamp companies, and I don't think my audience would be down for that. I just sound kind of ridiculous being like, you know what helps me read philosophy, especially in the dark? Lamps. And that's why this video's sponsor, nah. But heck yeah, I'd promote Hackett, my beloved. Okay, this video's gone on long enough. If you're also a Hackett simp, then comment below some books that you want to see published by them. If you somehow enjoy this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. And with that, I wish you all a beautiful rest of your day.